Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Put your feet up. We're going to have a nice chill chat about MMORPGs today. Actual MMORPGs, not just survival MMOs. I know it's been a while since I've actually gotten into the greater MMO world. It's been kind of since Chronicles of Illyria, which was, glad that era is over. But I wanted to get back into a little bit of MMO discussion because I'm excited to say this too. I'm finally connecting the dots as to why I like certain things in MMOs and what actually makes me stick around. What is it that kept me playing games like Archeage? It's something that not many MMOs have, and now I'm kind of on this journey to find this specific thing, and it's open world housing. And I think this is really interesting because I play a lot of survival games as well. A lot of this channel is survival games. And I realized that part of the reason I was hooked on Atlas for so long and Outlaws of the Old West was because we had servers where up to 30 people sometimes were on there. That might be a slight exaggeration. Well, you know what? It was a lot. It was a lot of people for a survival server. 20 people, I'd say. And the best part of those games was that we could pick our spot on the map, we could build on it, we could go check up and see what everyone else was doing. It was like, I said this in my last Crosswind video about Atlas, it's like keeping up with the Digital Joneses kind of thing, and it was really cool. We could go play pranks on each other, we could leave boxes with rude letters for each other on the server. I don't know, it created such a feeling of community. It created content on its own simply by having us in these little neighborhoods. So anyway, that's one huge aspect of survival games that I love. And I realized that some MMOs have that aspect as well, like Archeage. It had player housing, and it had these housing zones where on a fresh start, you would have to go and rush to place a plot down. And it was always a rush to see not only if you could place one, but then if you could place another plot. Each plot you placed, you would have to pay significantly more taxes on than the last plot, so it added up really fast. But what this did was it gave players a reason to keep logging in. It was a living world type of situation because you would have to keep up with your taxes. You would have to tend to your animals that you had in your housing area so that you could gather resources from them. You had to plant, water, and collect all your little flowers and trees, and it was great when you would get a thunderstruck tree, but I miss that game so much. And the best part about it is that you would become familiar with the people that you were living around. You would see what they were doing. You would see if they had rare things, and sometimes this would foster interaction. You'd whisper them. You'd be like, hey, you have this thing. How did you get it? How can I get it? Can you show me? And it just brought this gameplay loop together that you wouldn't normally find at the end game of an MMO. And most MMOs do have housing, and I really enjoy the housing. Guild Wars 2 has their new homesteads that I really enjoy, but you have to invite people to those. They're not out in the open world for everyone to see. So if you want to show off your stuff, or lack of stuff in my case, you have to invite people to go see it. And what I'm missing is that open world housing system. I mean, so many things in Archeage revolved around it. You had these trade packs that you could make, and then you would take those trade packs from one merchant all the way across the land to another merchant to make a ton of gold. And what you needed to make those trade packs was animal goods that you would farm on your little area, or plants that you would grow and then chop them up and put them into a trade pack. So that gameplay loop also needed your little area, your house. And I made so many friends by having my plots where they were. I had mine when I last played Archeage Unchained. I had mine in Aurora, and I had a bunch of guildies and friends that were also in Aurora, and we would always group up. It was really good times. And it brought something to MMOs that I had been missing. So New World, played through it, got to max level, not much to do once you hit end game. And I got into the housing, but it's instanced housing again. So it's not like you're walking into a town and you get to look at each individual house and be like, wow, look, that person's got this thing. How'd they get that? Maybe I should contact them and see how I can get that. It's all hidden behind a lobby kind of deal. That alone isn't really a long enough term goal for me. I'm looking for that persistent feeling now when I get into MMORPGs, because quite frankly, all the other stuff that MMOs are bringing to the table just like aren't enough anymore. And that goes back to the fact that MMOs aren't novel anymore. We're used to playing with people online. We have Discord. Everyone hangs out on Discord. We don't need to be in the game anymore to enjoy being with people. But what open world housing does is brings you back into the game world. It pulls you off of whatever chat you were on Discord and kind of brings you back to socializing in the game. So that's my little spiel on open world housing and MMOs and how I wish more MMOs did it. I've looked into it. I've been, as I said, it's like my quest. I've been searching. I found Ashes of Creation, which is going to have a freehold system, which will have various freeholds scattered around its game world. There will be a limited amount, so there will be competition that goes with them. So I have bought into Ashes of Creation as a tester because I'm really excited for that one. And I'm interested in game development like as a whole, so I've already gotten my value out of the pack I purchased, to be honest. I've enjoyed testing it, and I'm excited to keep up with its development. Like one of my hobbies is like this channel is keeping up with game development of different games. So for me, it's paid off. Another one I'm looking into is Fractured Online. It's had a bumpy few years, but recently there was a stream where the developers have kind of breathed life back into the project, and it is going to have some form of open world housing. It's going through a full reimagining, so that game is going to be completely different when it comes out the other end. But they said that they want it to be a social sandbox MMO home, which is what I'm on a quest looking for. But other than that, there really aren't many other games that have that open world housing feel. I mean, sure, Final Fantasy has those neighborhoods that's really hard to win an auction and get a house, but that's not quite the same. You can still have that neighborly feeling, but it's not the same as like being out in the game world where people are fighting monsters and farming stuff and crafting. It's like, it's not the same exact thing. Same with Lord of the Rings Online. Lord of the Rings Online has a robust housing system with neighborhoods and that whole spiel, but it's still not quite that open world feel. So that was my connect the dot moment. Realizing that what I'm really looking for is that creative, customizable housing experience out in the open world where I can show off everything I've done in the game, I can progress, I can have my own little plot in a persistent living world. So, kind of curious if anyone else feels like this. If they feel like something's missing, and not just the ousted sense of community that really isn't there in a lot of MMOs anymore because of Discord and the novelty wearing off, but that open world persistence, that drawing a really great thing from open world survival games and bringing it over to the world of MMOs. I'm curious what you guys think about it. So in the background, I've had some footage of Ashes of Creation freeholds and stuff. Once again, Alpha 2, very early development, but that's what I'm gunning for. That's what I'm going to be waiting for. That, and on a smaller scale, Fractured Online. And then, of course, I'm also going to be watching all of these future MMOs popping up. And I don't know, maybe one day one of them will decide to include open world housing too. So that was my very casual chat about open world housing and why I think it's important, and maybe something that you are missing too. I think that is it for me today. If you are looking for some gameplay videos, survival games, I have a Grounded playlist that is on its way to being completed if you are interested in something like that. I'm also covering a game called Crosswind, which is a pirate survival MMO. So yeah, go check those out if you're just looking for something to watch after this. So thank you all for checking out my little rant. As always, I hope you are enjoying your games, and I will see you all in the next video.